Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber to punch his ticket in the championship match of WrestleMania. And I say that because, Andy, we're not sure who it's going to be against. Drew McIntyre got himself involved in the match. Nick Aldis decided, well, Drew, since you've got yourself involved, you're going to have a match on Friday against Cody Rhodes. By the way, did not win the Elimination Chamber. So Cody's going to get a shot, Andy, on Friday for the WWE Championship. So lots to unpack here because there's a lot of different ways that we could go with this. Your initial reaction, though, because you texted me, I wasn't watching the post show. You texted me about the Drew and Cody match. So you've got Randy, you've got Drew, you've got Cody. There's a lot of other options there. Your initial feelings on kind of where we sit right now.
I mean, I will be shocked if this is not a fatal four-way for the title at Mania.
Okay.
Just because of the way SmackDown opened with Jay getting attacked and Jacob being right in the center of that, and then Drew coming out right after to cut his promo and to say all the things that he said. I have a hard time seeing this not be a fatal four-way. And so honestly, like, the way I see this whole thing playing out is the match is probably going to happen Friday. Jacob's going to get involved, get the whole thing thrown out. And then Nick Aldis is probably just going to come out and be done with it and just be like, you know what? You guys can't figure it out. All four of you, WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That's probably the most likely scenario. I think there are some other options that are possible.
Yep.
I just think the way that they have been building this for the last couple of months, it's hard to leave Drew out of the title picture. It's hard to leave Jacob out of it. And now you've thrown Randy in it because Randy's always kind of in the background when it comes to Cody.
Yep.
So I think it's just hard not to envision a fatal four-way at WrestleMania.
Okay, so I'm going to throw you talked about the scenarios. I'm going to throw those scenarios out here. We're going to discuss them. We have 6-7 weeks, see what I did there, to discuss what this is going to look like. You're saying that you think on Friday we're going to find out what the match is. Like, no more waiting. We're going to find out on Friday. I don't know if we do find out on Friday. I think maybe they draw this out another week or so. Here's why I say that. I'm like you. I think the most likely scenario is a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship between the number one contender, Randy Orton, between the champion, Drew McIntyre, between Cody Rhodes, and between Jacob Fatu. Because as you're sitting here laying this out, if they've been building this for a couple months that they have, why would they just throw every bit of it away in order to just get somewhere where they could have gotten much easier? Now, I'll say this. Let's talk about the fatal four-way first, because I'm about to go down a rabbit hole. So, fatal four-way, Drew, Cody, Randy, Jacob. I'll play devil's advocate for a second. I know you can't put everybody in, but I think Sami Zayn has an argument based on what Sami has been doing. Are you okay with leaving him out of this match? And if so, what does Sami Zayn do at WrestleMania? I'm not saying that he is like the top dog or anything.
Right.
But to me, he has just as much of a dog in this fight as Jacob Fatu does.
Yeah, I think to an extent. I don't know as much as Jacob, but I think he does have an argument. I think four is too many anyways. So I think adding a fifth is a little steep. Honestly, I think you keep Sami out, and I know it's not the coolest thing in the world, and it's probably not even on WrestleMania. Have him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then make that a thing where, like, coming out of WrestleMania, hey, now I can get a title shot because I won.
Sure.
I won the Battle Royal. So make that mean something more than just getting a trophy. But then it gives Sami a win. It gives him something to do, because other than putting him in the title picture, and even putting him in the title picture at this point kind of feels forced.
Yep.
I don't see him having a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I hate that for Sammy. I do, because he works extremely hard, and he gets in, all the love from the people. Speaking of love from the people, we got Brad and City Kitty in the chat hanging out with us. Thank you guys. If you guys got questions, you got comments, what scenario do you want to see coming up at WrestleMania for the World Championship picture? Drop it in the chat, and we'll get to all of it, because I'm going to present this one, and then after I present this next scenario, and maybe it's a third scenario, we're just going to tell you what we think it should be. If we had the pencil, how would we book it? There's a real possibility, Andy, that Cody Rhodes wins the WWE Championship back this Friday on SmackDown from Drew McIntyre. Now, I don't think that completely gets rid of the fatal four-way or the triple threat or whatever if Drew loses the championship, but it easily gets us to a match that you could have gotten to in a better way. Cody and Randy. I think your scenario of Jacob coming out and ruining the match could just be Jacob comes out and costs Drew the match, because Jacob has said he wants Drew. He's not concerned about Cody. He's not concerned even about the title. He wants Drew. So you paint the scenario of Cody, Randy, Drew, and Jacob. What are your thoughts there if that were to happen?
It's hard. Like, it's really weird, because you also, like, in my mind, I have to, like, you think about what makes the most sense, but then you also have to think about what the reaction you're going to get from doing something like that. And I think putting the title on Cody from Drew on a random SmackDown, and then seemingly taking Drew out of, let's be real honest, the main event of WrestleMania night 1, because I don't see the women's match main eventing as of right now. They could completely change it all the way there and build it up.
Sure.
But I have a hard time thinking that's the best option. Now, it's absolutely an option, and it's a very viable option, because, no matter how much we may not like Drew being involved, Cody versus Randy is a marquee matchup that a lot of people want to see. I also love the little detail of the only time they got involved with each other at Chamber was when Randy hit the RKO to win.
Yep.
Like, they never, unless I missed it, they never really got physical with one another.
Nope.
So it seems like they are intentionally making us wait for that moment. That moment could very easily be at WrestleMania this year. And then Drew and Jacob, I mean, that's a match that I think could very easily still WrestleMania weekend. I think it would be I think if you do it, you absolutely have to put a stipulation to it. Like, it can't just be a one-on-one. It has to be a no holds barred. It has to be a steel cage, something like that between those two, just to let them, beat the crap out of each other, basically. So I think it's an option. I don't think it's the best option. I still think, looking and putting all four guys together some way, somehow, is probably best case scenario for all four guys and for, excitement going into WrestleMania.
Everyone benefits the most if you have a fatal four-way, because everybody gets their moment in the sun, and Drew doesn't have to get pinned to lose the championship. And you have a very good chance that Jacob Fatu could steal the WWE championship in the main event of WrestleMania night 1, and it'd be a huge crowning moment for him.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a wild what if scenario that Jacob Fatu gets left out, even from Drew McIntyre. Andy, I would love it, and I'll go ahead and spoil it right now. If I were booking it, this is how I'd book it. I'm sorry, Jacob Fatu, we'll find something for you to do on WrestleMania. Because if it were me, Andy, Randy's facing Cody, and we'll get to Randy and Cody in just a second. Randy's facing Cody. Cody's beating Drew. And Drew is facing Nick Aldis at WrestleMania, because I know it's not gonna, the result of that is way up in the air because it's not gonna do anything for Drew to beat Nick Aldis. And if you've built Drew all the way to WrestleMania and then Aldis turns around and beats him in his only match, like what's that gonna do? So I understand that that's convoluted, but Andy, to get Nick Aldis in the ring, there is nobody better than to have him face Drew McIntyre. And the way that they have set this up, because Andy, there are 3 feuds going on with wrestlers and non-wrestlers right now in the WWE, and there's no payoff for any of them. So at least let me pay one of them off and let Drew versus Nick Aldis happen at WrestleMania. And I know that you want to see him in the ring too. The timing might not be great, but dude, just imagine the spotlight that they would get.
Yeah, I love the idea of Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. Like I completely agree with you. If Drew is going to pull anybody back to the ring, it's either going to be Nick Aldis or it's going to be Wade Barrett. And I'm still holding out on that Wade Barrett Drew McIntyre match because that would be amazing. Or Sheamus and Wade would be awesome too, but that's a different story. I think Nick Aldis and Drew would be awesome. I don't think you do it at Mania though.
Right. Yes.
I think you can do that at Backlash.
Yep.
So I think you can still get to that point. Maybe even have Aldis get involved in the Fatal 4-Way or whatever that championship match is going to look like, and ultimately cost Drew the title. Then I think we can really start to explore that more. It's a double-edged sword for me because I love Nick Aldis. I mean, I one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in person was him and Cody at the NWA show here in Nashville.
Yep.
But I have a really hard time keeping Jacob Fatu out of the title picture or out of a big marquee match at WrestleMania. So I still think we get to Aldis and Drew. I just think it happens, Backlash, maybe even Money in the Bank or whatever's after that.
Do you think there's a scenario, and this is honestly the least likely scenario for me. Do you think there's a scenario where Drew beats Cody on Friday, we get Drew Randy straight up one-on-one, and you get Cody Jacob one-on-one at WrestleMania? Before Chamber, even before last Friday's SmackDown, I would have said that's a real possibility. Now, the way things have kind of played out, I don't think so.
I don't either, and I don't think it's really a great option for Mania either. Like I love Drew, I love Randy. I think them together is awesome, but Cody's going to be in the title picture at Mania. It's like Roman getting involved. Roman's going to be involved in the title picture at Mania, so like Cody has to be involved. Does that mean I think he's winning the title at Mania? Honestly, I think he's the least likely to win the title at Mania this year. But I do think he has to be involved. You build him up as the guy for the last, 4 or 5 years now since he came back?
4 years.
4 years. You have to keep him in that title picture, especially the way you've been. Like, I think you could have got away with it if you weren't building him against Drew for the last 3 months, and now Drew's the WWE champion. You can't just pull Cody away from that title at the same time.
Correct. But I mean, there's no way now that we get Cody Drew one-on-one at WrestleMania. No. It's either Randy is definitely involved in there some way, somehow. So let's go down this rabbit hole for just a second, because we are looking at Roman Reigns, CM Punk, night 2. That sucker is locked in. That is the main event of WrestleMania. There's no doubt about it. And you almost look at this Fatal 4-Way as like, well, we're trying to throw as many guys in here to try to match the aura and the star power that is going to be night number 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The scenario that I want to point out is I want to circle back to this Cody Randy thing, because they brought up an interesting point on Busted Open today that I want to bring to you. If Cody Rhodes defeats Drew McIntyre on Friday, and he goes one-on-one with Randy Orton in the main event of night number 1 of WrestleMania. And let's say, again, we said this is the clunky way to get to Cody Randy. This was easy, and they've found a way to make it clunky. It's fine. But over the next 6 weeks, Cody, Randy, they start to realize that somebody's going to have to not turn heel, but somebody's going to have to do some heelish things to walk away with the championship at WrestleMania. I know that the match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in 2018 does not sit well with a lot of people.
Oh, I'm twitching.
I just remember that build being the same way. You know, they put them in tag matches and one tried to hit their finish on the other and they stopped. And, you know, it was vice versa. So it was sort of the same kind of build. What I'm saying, Andy, is if you put Cody Randy night 1 of WrestleMania and Cody walks in as champion, let's say that Cody walks out as champion after a full-on heel turn. We finally get it at WrestleMania on his best friend, Randy Orton. And then we get a proper face heel Randy Cody feud all the way to SummerSlam. Okay. Let's go with that scenario for a minute. Is that moment, remember last year, WrestleMania 41, night 1, Seth Rollins shocks the world. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes turns heel. Night 1 of WrestleMania this year. Do you think that is bigger than what we would see with Roman Reigns and CM Punk night number 2?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That to me would be like putting Cena's heel turn on night 1 of WrestleMania, and it'd be like, have fun night 2, like figure it out. Like Roman and Punk are going to be awesome. Like it's going to be amazing no matter what. But you know, have fun. Figure that part out, because that's the Homelander Cody that we've been wanting to see for, you know, ever since he came back. Like it's been like, yeah, we love babyface Cody, but when he turns heel, it's going to be, you know, like we always have that in the back of our mind. Yep. But I love that dynamic between them, especially with like even if it's one-on-one, if it's a triple threat, if it's a fatal 4-way, I think you plant the seeds of Randy turning heel the whole time because of the stuff they've been doing with Aleister Black backstage with him and Randy. And he, like, maybe in the match he's getting ready to go for the punt on Cody, and somehow Cody reverses it and then Cody punts him. And like, you know, they're going back and forth, or we kind of stretch this out for a little bit. But the heel turn itself, if that happens at WrestleMania night 1, that is the moment of WrestleMania. That's Austin turning heel, and we're putting it on night 1. And it's like I don't think we can do that moment night 1 of WrestleMania.
Do you think it's a dead giveaway? Because I don't know that Punk Roman has been set in stone as night 2 main event. We just know it's the main event. Do you think it's a dead giveaway if this Cody Randy thing happens and they say it's the night 2 main event? Is it a dead giveaway that something like bombastic has to happen?
Yeah. I think it's a dead giveaway that something has to happen.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's Travis Scott coming down to the ring again. We'll give that a third try, or The Rock finally shows up, because apparently everybody thought he was in the crate at Elimination Chamber. Nobody has learned their lesson when it comes to The Rock.
I know.
Nobody has learned their lesson at all.
I know.
But yeah, I think it's a dead giveaway that something has to happen. Because if you put that thing on night 2, if you put Cody Randy on night 2 and Cody just straight up wins and nothing happens, you're looking at WrestleMania 41 again. Like, no matter how great the match will be between Randy and Cody, you're building this thing up to have higher expectations, and then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. City Kitty in the chat says it's definitely bigger than Punk and Roman. She actually dropped this comment as I was laying this out, that Cody turns heel. So we're on the same wavelength. Listen, if it happens 100%, like it's the biggest moment of WrestleMania, and follow that, Punk and Roman. Let's just.
I mean, one of them would have to kill the other one literally in the ring for it to to match it.
Punk said he was going to do it tonight on Monday Night
Raw. That's what I'm saying. So you know,
we're going to talk about Punk and Roman here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about the crate here in just a few minutes. But Andy, before we wrap up this world title convoluted discussion here, if you have the pencil, I know we're 6 weeks away, but Friday is a big hinge point in this story, this match between Cody and Drew. if you have the pencil, how are you booking this WWE Championship match at WrestleMania?
So if I'm booking it, I'm 1,000% going with the Fatal 4-Way.
Okay.
I'm having Drew walk in as champion.
Okay.
And I like the aspects of the match can be what they need to be.
Yep.
I think the main points coming out of it is there has to be tension between Cody and Randy coming out of this. Maybe not a full-blown heel turn between the two of them, but maybe they work together for a little bit, and then Randy tries to attack Cody from behind, and then they're like, oh, like that classic Randy, and then Cody does it to Randy.
Yep.
I think like stuff like that has to go on. I think Nick Aldis has to get involved some way, somehow, and accidentally cost Drew McIntyre. And if I'm booking it right now, and you can call me a mark, you can call me a shield, that's totally fine. Jacob Fatu pins Drew McIntyre and wins the WWE Championship coming out of WrestleMania. Because the thing about Mania, all the great WrestleMania main events, a lot of the great ones, have been an up-and-coming guy getting that moment.
Yep.
You look at Brock, you look at Eddie Guerrero, you look at the guy that we will not mention, you look at, Daniel Bryan. Those are WrestleMania main events.
About The Miz.
Well, he was champ going in. He don't count. But like you look at guys that go in as the underdog, the new guy.
Yep.
And when they come out as champion, it just completely changes everything about them. I think Braun Breaker was on that path to do that this year at WrestleMania because of injuries and stuff. He's not able to do that. I think you give the moment to Jacob Fatu, and I think it sets up a SummerSlam match. Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship.
Okay. All right. I would love for Jacob Fatu to walk out of WrestleMania as champion. I would love for that to happen. I think it's dangerous to do a one-on-one match up against Punk Roman on the other one or on the other night. I think it is. I think it's difficult because you're essentially trying to compare and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if there's any matchup that can compare, it's Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And I would love for Randy Orton to walk out as WWE champion from this WrestleMania. I think he deserves at least one more. I don't think he deserves three more. I don't think he's going to tie John Cena, but I think he deserves at least one more WWE championship. Maybe Randy winning the championship from Cody is, maybe Cody's not champion and he turns heel. Maybe we still get that heel turn and Cody chases Randy all the way through the summer. I don't know exactly what that looks like.
Yeah.
But I think my preference is we get Cody Randy night one. I do. That's my preference. That's the way that I would book it.